Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Monday night. Home of the Sprint Cup All-Star Series, the Coca-Cola 600 and the Bank of America 500. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're at that mile-and-a-half Charlotte Motor Speedway for some great street stock race action. Drivers are going qualifying this moment. While they are going qualifying, we're going to play the national anthem when we come back. We've got some things to talk about with the Short Track National Showdown League, as this is just a recruiting session for things they've got coming up. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back. Dustin Caldwell, you're tuning into the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Monday night here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, this mile-and-a-half track. We're going to be set to go racing in just a few moments while the drivers are finishing up their qualifying laps. It looks like that 29 of Charles Landh has the fast lap time. Taking a look and seeing what we got here for tonight as far as the race information. Let's bring that up on the screen. As you can see here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina, this mile-and-a-half track. Weather information down below. Kind of cool here tonight. It's 65 degrees in the air, 0% humidity, a little bit overcast, with about 65 degrees matching the air temperature down on the pavement. That's going to be some great speed weather here tonight. A lot of grip out there on the track, so we should be seeing some great side-by-side race action when this green flag drops. Taking a look up at the top three, Charles Landh has the fast lap time here tonight. Looks like he is running just about a 36.678. Right behind him, it looks like Joseph John Braun with a qualifying time 36.780, and Stephen G. Spalding, qualifying time 36.862 is your top three. It's a big week here at the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. Coming up tomorrow night, we continue chase round number 4 for the Anarchy Motorsports Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. They're going to be going a little bit back in time to the Daytona Circa 2007 track to battle it out there, with only 2 races remaining after this week in that chase series. Coming up Wednesday night, the Modified Madness Tour will be off. We will be back in action, though, with a special event with the CRA League. It's going to be a nice little treat. You definitely want to tune in Wednesday night at 9 o'clock for that action. Coming up Thursday night, the Precision Racing Intermediate Championship Series is back in action. They are going to be looking at the Daytona road course with the Formula Renault 2.0 cars. So you'll have to tune in for that. Both Wednesday and Thursday nights are up on the iRacing Live portal. Coming up Friday night, typically would see the Interleague Championship Racing Series. It is still up in the air due to the holiday if they're going to be running. So we'll see what we got going on with that. And that pretty much carries out our week and our lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, you can always find us on the web at forgebroadcasting.com or on Facebook. Just look up Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. Just a few moments remaining here in the qualifying session. Charles Landh still with your fast qualifying time, 36.678. The time to beat here tonight. And taking a look at these times, it looks like the top 17, 18 drivers putting down qualifying times all within hundreds of seconds within one another. So it's going to be a good field here tonight of racing. And if you're not familiar with street stocks, folks, this is your grassroots form of racing right here. It doesn't get any more local than this. When you put these 3,400-pound cars battling it out on the track with 375 horse, these things are like tanks going down this mile-and-a-half oval. And when they come barreling in through turns 1 and 2, you watch for some passes out of turn number 2 into that back straightaway. Once they get into 3, they're going to have to lift a little bit. So start to see some guys diving it down to the inside, especially with tonight being a little bit cooler temperatures. There's going to be a lot of grip down there on that track. Imagine we'll see some drivers pass on the inside for turn number 3, and turn number 4 is going to be the tricky one. Drivers start to sway towards that wall as the rubber gets laid down outside of turn number 4. So we're going to probably see maybe one caution here tonight, at least coming off of turn number 4. So a lot of things to come here tonight. The folks at the Short Track National Showdown League putting on a great show. Again, this is their recruiting session, as their official Street Stock Series will start next month. And we'll have more on that come later in the broadcast. Just a few moments here now as that clock is just winding down. One driver still left out there. Ian Martin, as we're following the 40 Burger King machine, making his way around the turn with his final time. Looks like it's going to be a 36.767. We'll round out his qualifying time. Anthony Mintz, still one of the other few drivers out there. And I'll tell you what, late moment comes up and sneaks away with the pole, laying down a qualifying time of 36.586. Just barely sneaking it away from Charles Landh, who's had it pretty much since the beginning when he ran his first couple laps. And it looks like all drivers have put down their qualifying time, so we should be seeing the race control advance the session over into the race. We'll be going to the grid, and we'll show you where your drivers stand here tonight. It looks like it is going to be the 17 of Anthony Mintz up front. Charles Landh, the 29 car, will be starting to the outside. Ian Martin sneaking up into the third position. The number 40 Burger King machine we just showed you will be starting inside of that second row to the outside. It looks like Joseph John Braun and the 14 machine will round out your front 4. The grid time tonight is set to go racing at 9:10 p.m. And it looks like now the session has finally kicked over to the race session. So the drivers make their way off of pit road out onto the grid. Let's go down there and get that action for you as they start to fill up that front stretch. You can hear some of the drivers excited to go racing here tonight. As we take a look down onto the grid, your pole sitter here tonight, Anthony Mintz. In that All-Star Chevrolet Camaro out of the Mid-South, the number 17 of Anthony Mintz on the pole here tonight. As we look to the outside, the number 29 of Charles Landh had the fast time until the 17 snuck by very late in the qualifying session. We'll start to the outside as we look back to the inside of that second row, that number 40 Burger King machine. That is Ian Martin. He'll be starting in third position here tonight to the outside in that second row. The number 14 machine of Joseph John Braun, the New York driver, starts fourth. He's running that Oreo Ritz Chevrolet Camaro. Looking on back in to the top five, Starting in 5th position here tonight, it looks like it's going to be that 48 of Steven Spalding, the New England driver with that Hellman's Mayonnaise Camaro. To the outside of him, in 6th position, you got that number 57. That is Gary Triska with that Yeti Coolers Chevrolet Camaro. The Canadian driver will start in 6th position. Looking back in 7th, the 06 of Michael Bonk, the Michigan driver, starts here on that inside lane to his outside, running a triple-digit number, and a big one at that. J.R. Bradford, the Great Plains driver, runs that 817. Will start in 8th here tonight. As we look back to 9th position, it looks like it's going to be the number 15 Machine as he slowly gets his way over there. Looks like there's a little bit of hoopla there, but Jason Anderson there in 9th position in that yet another Yeti Coolers Camaro. And as the pace car begins to take him away, folks, this is the Street Stock Series recruiting session for the Short Track National Showdown here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to be that number 17 of Anthony Mintz taking him to the green. Pace car takes him down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Here they go. Pace car set to go into the pits. Lahr and Mintz up front. Mintz to set that pace. Pace car into the pits. Here they come to the front stretch. To the green flag.
Green, green, green.
And the green flag is in the air. 75 laps coming at you here at Charlotte. Some near 3-wide action coming out of turn number 4 here in the first lap. It's still the 17 of Anthony Mintz with the race lead, and a very hard-charging Ian Martin now to the outside as they come across that start-finish line down into turn number 1. And trying to find his line, you're going to see Ian Martin up there looking for that groove. Michael Bonk, the 06, black and orange Chevrolet Camaro to the inside right there behind Mintz as they come down that back straightaway into turn number 3. A little bit of 3-wide action there, back in 7th position, and Bonk is going to flirt with that apron through turn number 4. Number 29, Charles Lahr back there in 4th position, now battle side by side with Joseph John Brom in the 14 machine. John Brom here tonight just barely ahead of the 13 of Jason Anderson. Some nice side-by-side racing up front for the lead now, as it looks like Ian Martin to the outside of Anthony Mintz will challenge for the lead here in turn number 3. And it looks like that lower groove definitely has the momentum early on here in the race. And wow, Michael Bonk with a little bit of sway caused that 40 of Ian Martin to get loose. He was able to recover there out of turn number 4. And the 40 of Ian Martin forced down onto the apron through turn number 2 is going to lose a lot of positions in a hurry. Now we see Jason Anderson making his way up to 4th position, just to the inside of the 29 of Charles Lahr out of turn number 4. This 13 Yeti Coolers machine is on the move, looking to get around that 14 Joseph John Braun into turn number 1. They go, and the first caution flag is going to come out here on lap number 5. And it looks like it's going to be the 42 of Margaret Lewis. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Following that 42 Exalta into the backstretch. Going to really get hit hard from behind from the number 11 machine. That's Dan LaFoe. LaFoe's going to turn Lewis there right into turn number 3. She's going to get spun around. And we'll be facing oncoming traffic there in turn number 3. Luckily, there was a safer barrier to save on some damage. But unfortunately, Margaret Lewis is going to be spun here on lap number 5. One more time, we'll take you on board with the 42. The Virginia driver makes her way through turns 3 and 4. Right there, keep an eye, that was Ian Martin down there on pit road making an entrance. Actually, it's right here at the front stretch. Gets spun around and forced down onto pit road. It's a tough break there for Margaret Lewis. With the first caution flag coming out on lap number 5, it is Jason Anderson taking over the race lead. Looks like Bruno Souza is going to move up to second, J.R. Bradford third, Tom Kism the fourth, and Tracy Jenkins to the top 5. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, more race action to come your way, so don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Charlotte Motor Speedway here this Monday night. About to go green on lap number 10. It's going to be Jason Anderson and Bruno Souza with the front of the pack. Leading behind them, it will be J.R. Bradford and Gary Triska rounding out your front four. A pace car will be set to go into the pits this time around. Pace car into the pits. Here they come to the front stretch.
Green flag,
Green flag's back in the air on lap number 10.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Is going to turn that 31. Inside move, folks, right there. Tracy Jerkins is going to get turned right to the entrance of turn number 3, as that 53 machine did not let up once. That was Jared Duda. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Right here to the entrance of turn number 3, as we're going to slow up the camera for you. Keep your eye on that 53. He is not going to live due to in that blue and black 53 Chevrolet Camaro, as Tracy Jerkins is to the back. Oh, it looks like the 388 of Bruno Souza. And just underneath, just enough to touch that corner panel to get the 31 of Jerkins loose. And a little bit of extra bump action from Duda, and it looks like Tracy Jerkins is going to go spinning. 29 of Charles Lahr makes his way up, as that 94 machine of Ben Dieball down there on the apron to avoid the incident. Charles Lahr with a little bit of contact. While the 41 down there trying to avoid it will do so. Take a look at that. Barely able to escape was the 14 of Joseph John Braun. Will go down pit road and into the grass to avoid all the incidents there. One more time on board with Tracy Jerkins here. Just to the entrance. Here's the back stretch behind Souza. And you're going to see Tracy Jerkins right here get spun around. Jared Duda. There's the contacts. And around goes the 31. Luckily, put in the right position to head down pit road to get a faster pair. Tracy Jerkins' fast lap time here tonight, 36.48. Last lap ended up in a 49.49. So with all the action going on down pit road, it looks like J.R. Bradford in the 817 machine will go to the front. 48 of Steven Spalding in second. Michael Bonk, the 06, who's been up in the top 5 all night, will stay in third. Dan LaFoe now, the 11 machine, causer of the first caution, will go up to 4th position, and it looks like Mark LaRoche will be rounding out your top 5. See if we can get Dan LaFoe, on the line as we go on board there with the 11 machine. Dan LaFoe, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there? Looking for that 11 machine.
Go ahead.
All right, you find yourself here in 4th position. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's been a rough go getting up here, but I've dodged a couple wrecks and stayed out, so I'm on some older tires, but I think we should have something for him, hopefully.
Any shout-outs you'd like to give as you come out of turn 2?
I'd like to give a shout out to my sponsors, GTR Simulators.
All right, best of luck to you when going back to green there, Dan.
Thank you, Dustin.
There you have it, folks. The number 11 of Dan LaFoe making his way up to 4th position after starting 21st on the field. Lights are off that pace car. We'll be back green on lap number 15. It's going to be J.R. Bradford and Steven Spalding up front, battling back to the race. Pace car into the pits. Down the front stretch. Here they come.
Green
And
flag,
that green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap number 15. J.R. Bradford into turn 3 as they begin to sway. Wow, that 33 of Eddie Shearer went really high, and he's going to make contact with the wall across that start-finish line. That 33 of Shearer is just all over the place, and now he's going to get into that 53.
Caution is out.
Eddie Shearer all over the place. Was loose in turn 3 and 4, and then ended up making contact with Jared Duda in turn number 1. Let's go back and take a look. There's the contact with the front stretch. Into turn number 1, gonna bounce off that 34. That is Mikal Rashid. Mikal Rashid in the 34 machine gets a little bit of contact from the 33 of Eddie Shearer. Back to the restart. You're going to see it here. Back to the front stretch, I should say. Contact with Rashid and Jared Duda. Putting the full damage down there on that 33 machine. And he comes to a rest, smacking that inside wall just across the apron in turn number 2. So the caution flag in the air yet again here at Charlotte. Again, folks, tonight it's the Street Stock Series recruiting session for the Short Track National Showdown. Actual league to start next week, or next month, excuse me. J.R. Bradford still at the helm of the field. We're going to take a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Charlotte this Monday
All right,
night.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Just as we get one lap completed from coming back off of the caution, another one comes out. And it looks like the 58 down there involved, that is Tom Chisholm, I believe is how his last name's pronounced. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. So it looks like initially Tom Chisholm is going to get into the back of the 31 of Cherry Jenkins, as it looked like Gary Triska made contact with the wall early on. Let's go back and follow the 57 of Triska and see exactly what happened there. So it looks like the 388 of Souza is going to get up into the side of Triska, putting Triska in the wall. And Triska will be bumped by Charles Lahr in the process. And also some other contact from the 17 of Anthony Mintz, your pole sitter here tonight, and will be spun out. And in doing so, we're going to follow Tom Chisholm yet again here. A little bit of breakup action here from the 37 of Tracy Jerkin, and Tom Chisholm will go to the infield. Locking up that brakes into the grass. So we'll go on board here with the 57 of Gary Triska. Hearing of these cars really pushing in turn number 3. So a little reaction there out of the 41 machine. There's the bump from Souza. Contact from Mintz, sending Triska around. And there's Tom Chisholm. So, J.R. Bradford with an easy night so far. Bradford started 8th here on the grid, currently up to 1st in that 817 iRacing machine. The Great Plains driver with a fast lap time tonight, 36.41, has led 15 laps. As he heads now into turn number 2, looking to pick up lap number 16 to that column. Top 5 as it stands. Bradford, Bonk, LaFoe, Taylor, and LaRoche. Your race statistics at the bottom. 24 laps completed, 2 lead changes, 4 total cautions. It'll be 1/3 of the race complete this time by, as they head into lap number 26. Lights come off that pace car. Single file restart being implemented to cut down on the restart cautions. It's an old racing term. Cautions breed cautions. And the single file restart is one of the problem solvers to that scenario. Into the backstretch with 50 laps to go. It'll be 49 when we get the green flag. The 817 of J.R. Bradford to set the pace. Pace car makes its way towards pit road. And there it goes. J.R. Bradford with the pace into the front stretch.
Green flag.
And the green flag flies. 49 laps to go in the race tonight. Little sway there from Bonk in second position, as now the 11 of LaFoe makes his way up to the inside of the 06 on the bumper of J.R. Bradford. Bonk with the high momentum coming out of turn number 2, and some crossover moves happening back in 3rd and 4th position. Bonk goes to the race lead. J.R. Bradford to second, the 22. That is Jason Taylor with a little bit of maneuvering in the backstretch. LaFoe and Duda find themselves side by side, and they are battling like it's the last lap. My goodness. These cars are everywhere. Into the backstretch, Duda with a little bit of apron. Down towards turn number 3, Duda to the inside of Bonk. As that 817 of Bradford to the high side is going to lose out a little bit. As now the 38 machine of Mark LaRoche approaches behind the 22 of Jason Taylor. Some cars tagging that wall coming out of turn number 4. Taylor behind Bonk. Jared Duda to the inside of Bonk. Into turn number 3. It's going to be 46 laps to go as it looks like the 817 of Bradford is going to push high yet again through turn 3. Now see that 23 machine. 13 machine of Jason Anderson. Back there behind Bradford on the high line. Duda still running that lower groove, has the momentum into the backstretch. Let's see what happens with Michael Bonk on the high line in turn number 3. And that lower groove picks up the momentum through 3 and 4. Rallying back comes Bonk and Bradford up in the high line. Down into turn number 1, they dive it. Taylor there behind the 53 of Duda. As they work their way into the backstretch, Michael Bonk and J.R. Bradford working in tandem up to the high line, trying to edge out Duda and Taylor. And it looks like Michael Bonk is able to get down there. The bump draft support from the 817 of J.R. Bradford pays off, and now the 13 of Jason Anderson wants to get by Bradford, and oh!
All right, man, caution is
That
out.
53 car just climbed the track, and that'll be the second to third caution, and we have got a junkyard down there in turn number 1. Unbelievable. That 53 of Jared Duda climbed that track, causing this caution as he got into the side of the 817 of J.R. Bradford. As you see, right there, he's going to climb the track right up into the 817 of J.R. Bradford, get spun, and slams that barrier. Luckily, there was a little bit of safer barrier there, but he's going to go flying wheels up, land on a couple of cars, come down right in front of the 40. And you see the Red Baron Pizza, number 14. I believe it's 94, excuse me, of Ben Dyball. And the paint scraped on that car. Take a look at that action. 13 of Jason Anderson is going to go for a run. Few cars got airborne there in turn number 1. Right behind Bonk through turns 3 and 4. We're going to follow Jared Duda here. As he comes into the front stretch, we'll begin climbing the contour of the track right here into that 817 machine right about there. What a ride this 53 endured here into turn number 1. So that's going to pass the torch now to Tom Chisholm, the 58 machine, who will have the 57 of Gary Triska behind him, the 48 of Steven Spalding, the 14 of John Brom, Joseph John Brom. And Ian Martin will round out your top 5 now with 41 to go as they cross that start finish line. Well, the lights remain on that pace car. It's going to give us a chance to take a commercial break. We come back, we'll have some more street stock action for you. This is the Short Track National Showdown recruitment race for next month's Street Stock Series that will take part. More action to come your way, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
AMSLeague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSLeague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected oval league and community in the iRacing service. AMSLeague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on Sim Racing Earth at AMSLeague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. AMSLeague.com. A premier iRacing league with a great group of drivers.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway this Monday night for the Street Stock Series recruitment race, Short Track National Showdown League. As we are back under the green in a battle hard up front between that 58 of Chisholm and the 57 of Triska. Back in third position, the 14 of Joseph John Brom leads that 40 of Ian Martin in that Burger King Chevrolet. Mikhail Rashid, one of the drivers involved in a caution here tonight, back in the 34 machine. Black and white car to the inside here in turn number 3 has Jason Taylor in the 22 Skull machine behind him. And a little push high from Triska. As now the 58 of Chisholm to the inside of the 57. The Yeti Cooler Chevrolet Camaro to the high side. As that 14 of Joseph John Brom pushes Tom Chisholm down below in that black and green Chevrolet. Rallying back, here comes that 57 of Triska, being pushed by Ian Martin on the high side into turn number 3. And it's a deadlock battle and a little bit of connection issues there from the 58 of Chisholm, and that's going to put him out of the top 10. Gary Triska now leads into turn number 1 with 36 laps remaining. Has that 14 of Joseph John Brom behind him. 40 up to the high side by side with the 14 of Braun. As they come down that backstretch towards turn number 3, Taylor and Rashid looking to get up there in the top 3. Taylor to the high side of Rashid. The 817 of J.R. Bradford, one of the cars that had the most laps, actually is the car that has the most laps, total 17 there on that 817 machine. Now we see that 41 of Wyatt Martin making his way into the top 5 as he's to the outside of Mikhail Rashid. Deadlock battle up here on the front 4 as we see Triska down the low side of Martin. The number 14 of Joseph John Brom looking to get around. But these guys are really fighting. Into turn number 1 they go. Triska hugging that white line through 1 and 2. See the battle there, side-by-side action. Little apron touch there from the 57 of Triska. Ian Martin now looks to get around. He's got some momentum. Can he make it work for himself? Just a nose ahead of Triska through turns 1 and 2. Out of turn number 2, Triska being bump drafted by Joseph John Brom. Jason Taylor needs to get up to the bumper there, the 40 of Ian Martin, to have any chance, and now Martin falls back once again beside Ron, and Triska's going to get into the side of Ian Martin, and that's going to bring out the caution flag. Plays Triska. Michael Bonk. Heavy damage on the front of that 06. Bonk still goes flying. As we capture the action. Coming into the front stretch. So Triska a couple of times made contact with that apron enough to get him loose right into the side of Ian Martin and Jason Taylor. We're going to follow the perspective here of Michael Bonk, who gets turned by Taylor. Bonk's going to go for a spin through the infield of the front stretch. As you can see, Triska backwards up there along the wall. Here comes Mikhail Rashid, to the inside to avoid that, and Dan LaFoe will miss Bonk, and Bonk actually touches the wall. You see the front end damage. Here comes Gary Triska. Backwards by Bonk, makes some contact, who in turn, 38 machine able to get by Bonk, rolls just by that, and it's the 31. Take a look at that. Tracy Jerkins using those ARCA brakes, and ladies and gentlemen, take a look at that airtime. Right from a Chevrolet Camaro to a space shuttle. Up into the air, Michael Bonk. I don't think I've ever seen a street stock car go that high. Luckily, lands on at least some sort of wheels. Will get a bounce-off effect after that as Ian Martin goes by. Through all that airtime, he's been lucky to come back down on the wheels. Unbelievable. That Michigan driver goes for one heck of a spin. Kudos to the safety measures in those cars. Keep the driver safe. And will eventually come to rest. Wheels up in the air. That's the turtle position, as the iRacing drivers come to know it. So Bonk still down on pit road. had got a fast repair, needed a tow down pit road. That gives the 817 of J.R. Bradford the lead with 30 laps to go. Top 5 is as stands: Bradford, Braun, Martin, Rashid, and LaFoe. There's your race statistics. Out of 45 completed, 11 lead changes here tonight, total of 6 cautions. And again, folks, this is a recruitment race, and what does that mean from a typical league race? This means you get a lot of drivers who's never raced around one another, put them all together, see what their racecraft is. They are picking the drivers they want for their race league as they're going through recruiting. So the Short Track National Showdown, both Skip Lynn and Teddy Groh looking onward tonight from the race control booth, deciding who they want to invite to the Street Stock Series that begins next month. As we now see the lights come off that pace car with 29 to go. Battling up front will be J.R. Bradford and Joseph John Braun. Ian Martin and Mikhail Rashid will be back there in the front four. Down the backstretch they go. 28 laps will be what the docket says when the green flag drops. Into turn number 3, Bradford to the inside of Braun. Connection issues there from Martin, who's to the inside of Rashid. Pace car takes him through turn number 4. And it's into the pits. Bradford, Braun up front, into the front stretch.
Green flag.
The green flag flies. We're back to the race with 28 to go. Sway action back there from the 41 of Wyatt.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is
Get
out.
through turn number 4. That is a terrifying turn, folks. As we see the 58 of Tom Chisholm yet again go for a spin. We'll have to come back down pit road. And it looks like it's going to be a little bump. Michael Bonk to the back of Wyatt. As we see Wyatt Martin get a little bit of contact. Wyatt Martin goes down to the inside. Keep your eye on that 58 car of Tom Chisholm, who then comes down right in front of the nose of the 41 of Wyatt Martin. Will get spun around in the process. Michael Bonk will go try for the inside. Will make some contact there with Tom Chisholm. Chisholm now facing traffic will draw out the next caution of the night. So the caution flag back in the air here as the race control taking notes for the drivers they want to see in their Street Stock Series, folks. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, more race action to go as about 1/3 of the race remains here at Charlotte.
AMSLeague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSLeague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected oval league and community in the iRacing service. AMSLeague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on Sim Racing Earth at AMSLeague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. AMSLeague.com. A premier iRacing league with a great group of drivers.
Welcome back to Charlotte. Nice little opener music here tonight. Give sound credit to Martin Landh. The nice opener soundtrack. Ready to go back green. J.R. Bradford to the inside of Joseph John Braun, who I believe picked up a fan here tonight. Michelle Eisenhower, the #1 fan of iRacing, joins us here in the Digital Forge chat as the pace car heads into the pit.
Green flag, green
flag flies, 23 to go here at Charlotte. And Bradford now to the inside of Braum, who has Triska on his bumper, literally, through turns 1 and 2. Side-by-side action into the backstretch. As we see Bradford going to work his way to the low line, has Mikhail Rashid climbing towards him at 34 machine. Through turns 3 and 4. Into the front stretch, a little wiggle action there from the 14 of Joseph John Braum coming across that start-finish line, 22 laps to go. Talking about things you're going to see in the Street Stock Series coming up, this is going to be a short track league. And for those of you out there who says, what's a short track, or wants to know exactly what a short track is, short tracks are 1 mile or less, as we see Gary Triska literally come down into the side. Oh, and some animosity there from the 817. A little payback, some give and take, and Triska loses it. And turn number 4 in the 817 of J.R. Bradford said, I didn't like that very much on that backstretch. Got right back into the side of Triska, and we have a little bit of animosity here late in the race with about 21 to go. If we bring back the replay camera, try to capture the action of where Triska got into the side of Bradford. Keep your eye on the 817 right here. He's going to get off the bumper of Braun, come down, and thought he was clear, sent Bradford to the inside apron, and Bradford just climbs the track and says, hey, I'm going to get you loose for that. And Triska never fully recovers. Makes some contact there. Looked like with the 38 of Mark LaRoche. And LaRoche, a little bit of payback bump there right before the start-finish line. You see the 58 of Tom Chisholm, who's had some connection problems here tonight. Currently 1 lap down. Spinning out there in the front stretch. So yet again, we're going to go back on board here with the 817 of Bradford. So we hop on board. This is where he climbs right into the side of Triska. Triska, unfortunately, there's the contact with LaRoche as he goes spinning to the infield. LaRoche says, have a payback punch. So it looks like Jason Taylor now takes over the helm as the 13 of Jason Anderson. So 2 Jasons up front.
Joining
Joining
down
me in
underneath
the-
the white line. He came back up and then ran right into.
So trying to get some words from Teddy Grow here as Teddy Grow going through some race control stuff. We're going to see if we can get some words here from Mr. Grow here as things settling down on this pace lap. Teddy Grow, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yes, sir. How we doing tonight, Dustin?
Oh, not too bad. Taking a look at some things out on the racetrack. A little animosity brewing here between the 817 of Bradford and the 57 of Triska late in the race. We got 19 laps to go. Talking a little bit about some things coming up next month when the actual Street Stock Series, as I was telling the audience tonight, it's just a recruitment race. You're looking for some good drivers to join the Street Stock Series coming up in July. What can we expect going forward?
Oh, man, we're very excited. Yeah, we normally just short tracks, but we decided to, throw a little somewhat super speedway action in there. Normally we just run under a mile long tracks or shorter, but figured we'd let the guys have some fun tonight, let them draft a little bit. And, we're looking for some recruiting guys. We have a couple of guys that are deciding that they are going to pay to race with us, and we'll get payouts at the end of each 10 races seasons. It'll be $20 per division, or they can pay $50 and race all 3, and there will be payouts. But, we're looking for some good hard racing. We have a lot of good guys with us right now, and we're still trying to get some more here. And, we have to be strict because we do put a lot of time, a lot of money into the series, and, we want good hard racing, and guys just have to understand, look, we're the ones that call the shots. We know we spend your money, and with you spending your money, we're trying to keep everything in as clean as even as we can.
All right. Well, folks, there you have it. Some words from Teddy Grow in the Short Track National Showdown League. Appreciate your time, Teddy. We're about to go back green, so we'll see you after the race.
Not a problem, man. Thanks, Dustin.
There you have it, folks. Teddy Grow joining us in the booth. Pace car through turn number 4. It's going to be, looks like, yet again, is shuffled up Jason Taylor and Jason Anderson up front this time. Pace cars into the pits as they make their way to the front stretch. Flagman gives the signal. The green flag flies. 17 laps to go here at Charlotte. So, drivers having some major connection issues. Looks like Dozer Dog out there in YouTube is rooting for Taylor in the 22 machine, who's now to the inside of the 13. Through turn number 4, Anderson and Taylor, 2 Jasons up front. Don't make a right. Somebody has got to give a position. As Taylor to the inside of Anderson comes screaming down towards turn number 1. Watch that 22 dive it down towards the white line, hug it. He's going to push just a little bit, trying to get back down there. Wow, that 48 of Steven Spalding really pushed through turns 1 and 2, and rightfully will fall back to 6th position. Still a battle between the Jasons up front. Taylor to the inside of Anderson. Anderson just got a little bit ahead. Oh, and wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Martin coming back from 1955, making a 3-wide action into the front stretch. I believe he went and visited the Burger King himself, maybe even King Arthur in that trip. Shows back up on the Charlotte track. We got 3 3-pack train down in the low groove, coming through turns 1 and 2. Now the 13 of Anderson all by himself out in the high line as we see Anderson, Triska, and Braun down low groove. Oh, some scary action here as Joseph John Braun to the inside of Triska. Triska avoids it. Goes to the high side back behind Anderson. Here comes Jason Taylor to the inside of Anderson. 14 laps now remain. Looking for some good green flag run action here. Race control definitely on these guys to ease up just a little bit. We do not have... Still got about 14 laps to go, and these guys are battling like it's the last lap each lap. And it looks like Anderson, with some help of Triska, both running the Yeti Coolers paint schemes, will be sent to the front right in front of Jason Taylor coming out of turn number 4. And Triska now side by side with Taylor as they come across that start-finish line. 13 laps to go here at Charlotte. Joseph John Braun on the bumper of Jason Taylor into turn number 1. Michael Bonk now to the high side of Joseph John Braun as they both, Braun and Taylor, push high in turns 1 and 2. Here they come into the back straightaway. Jason Anderson right in front of Jason Taylor. Triska in front of Bonk. Braun behind Taylor. And now J.R. Bradford joins the mix. Braun into the side of Bonk. Bonk into the wall. Boy, did Joseph John Braun push high there in turns 3 and 4. He's going to fall back to about 5th position. Is now Jason Taylor behind Jason Anderson to the inside of Gary Triska. Working their way into turn 1. Triska to the way high line entry point, and they meet in the middle of turn number 2. Oh, Jason Taylor stops on the backstretch. No traffic coming, so the caution flag will not fly. Was taken out. Looks like by J.R. Bradford. Bradford now to the inside of Triska. Bradford with a little animosity towards Triska early on, trying to use Anderson as a shield here as Triska comes down, trying to get into the side of Bradford. They are side by side in turn number 2. Tough break there for the 22 machine. Bradford picking on the 13 of Jason Anderson into turn number 3. Gary Triska, the other car. Oh, and J.R. Bradford. Signature move slide in turn number 4. Yet again gets Gary Triska loose. We saw this happen, and ladies and gentlemen, you see that 817 disappear? That is a race control boot. That's right, he has been removed from the race for intentionally wrecking the 57. So J.R. Bradford, who was in 7th position, will fall back now. That's going to give a clear gap here for the 13 of Jason Anderson, who has Joseph John Braun back there in 2nd position. Mikhail Rashid, the 34 machine, back there in 3rd. Gary Triska showing in 4th as Michael Bonk is back in 8th, but everything will get reshuffled here as they come across that start-finish line. Bonk providing some draft support to the 34 Rashid. Bonk in the lucky dog position, so the 06 not fighting for position battle here as he is back in 7th position, 1 lap down. Stephen Spalding, the 48 machine, as you see here, is your last car on the lead lap, back in 6th position. Dan LaFoe just ahead of him. Gary Triska in 4th, Mikhail Rashid 3rd in the battle up front between Jason and Joseph. And Joseph John Braun muscling his way through turn number 4. And Joseph John Braun into the inside. Is not going easy. Jason Anderson says, hey, I'm just trying to drive here, buddy. And Joseph John Braun flexing some muscles through turns 1 and 2. Michael Bonk now to the high side of Mikhail Rashid, and it looks like the 38 machine of Mark LaRoche with a little bit of spin-out action in the backstretch. And the Yeti Coolers teammates find themselves yet again one in front, and wow, Gary Triska nearly almost made it 3 wide in the front stretch. Joseph John Braun to the inside. That inside groove here tonight was 65 degrees. Cooler temperatures both in the air and on the track, paving the way for that lower groove to catch some momentum here through turns 1 and 2 as Michael Bonk now to the inside of Gary Triska as they come down the backstretch. It's going to be 6 laps to go when they cross that start-finish line. Joseph John Brom to the inside of Jason Anderson. Triska avoiding some contact there with Michael Bonk. Mikhail Rashid, the 34 machine, back there in 4th position. Now again, folks, the 06 black Chevrolet that you see there, Michael Bonk, is not in a position battle. He is in the lucky dog slot. Back in 7th position. The other 4 drivers that you see up front are your top 4. Mikhail Rashid to the inside of Bonk, really flirting with dangerous territory into turn 3. Will ease up. Triska now into the side of Bonk and Brom, and Triska's going to get loose yet again. I believe that's the 3rd time here tonight in turn number 4. Contact has made that 57 Cooler Yeti machine loose. And now it looks like Jason Anderson has a 0.15 second lead over Joseph John Brom out of turn number 2. Into the backstretch, Michael Bonk just along for some momentum here. And somebody,
Caution is out. Caution
somebody
is out.
went for one heck of a ride back there. As we see, wow, coming out of the top of the screen, the 34 of Mikhail Rashid. Let's go back and take a look at what happened here with the 34. Following Mikhail Rashid in the 34 machine has Gary Triska there to the outside as they head into turns 3 and 4. Rashid's going to climb the track right there, and that's what's going to do it. Triska's going to get some heavy damage as now we see that Rashid scrape the front end off that car, and Triska just goes right through Rashid. Coming out of turn number 4. I believe the 58 of Tom Chisholm is going to make some contact with the 34 here. Actually, it's the 11. Applying those ARCA brakes. Yet again, we see another car go airborne here. Take a look at the eyes of the people in the crowd as they are as wide can be, as the 34 of Mikhail Rashid goes for a ride down the front stretch, and he, unlike Michael Bonk, will not land on tires. He's going to land on his roof, so I imagine he's going to have one heck of a migraine in the morning. The number 11 of Dan LaFoe, after this incident, will have called it quits. Tough break there for Mikhail Rashid. Was running up in the top 4 when he climbed the track right in front of Gary Triska, unfortunately both getting into the wall. And it was the contact with that 11 machine, the GTR of Dan LaFoe, that sent this 34 airborne across the front stretch. So it doesn't look like we're going to see Rashid back out on the track as we now show the pace car coming across that start-finish line. White flag to come out next time by. So this race is officially over. It is going to go to the 13 of Jason Anderson. Joseph John Braun, number 14 machine, will take second. Gary Triska being scored outside, as it looks like Steven Spaulding so far by race controls being scored in third. Although we show that 57 machine currently in third position, so is Spaulding not able to get around the 57. Shell Eisenhower saying bad Bradford. That was J.R. Bradford, the 817 machine, getting into the side of Gary Triska one too many times. Race control said that was enough, gave him the Das Boot here at Charlotte. 817 had an impressive night tonight. As we look at his information, started 8th, led 27 laps here. Just got in a little bit of temperamental issues. As the lights will stay on the pace car as the white flag comes out. One more lap to pace. We're going to bring Teddy Groh back into the booth. Just to give a disciplinary explanation here. Seeing the 817 of J.R. Bradford getting what I call the DOS boot, getting one too many times, intentionally wrecking Gary Triska there a couple times in turn number 4. Being on the race control side of things, and you see these kind of things happen, is probably one thing you don't want to have to remove somebody from a race, but unfortunately these things happen. Tell us a little bit about the decision making there.
Yeah, the last thing we want to do is actually boot somebody out completely of a race. We want to give them benefit of the doubt that it might have been a racing deal, that the car might have been ill handling. But as we said, we have more than 4 eyes, more than myself and Skip. We've got some private, if you want to say investigators, that watch with us, that we're in constant contact with. So it's not just Skip and myself. So, and we always discuss each and every penalty. We determine, we watch plenty of replays. We watch your replays. That's the bonus of having that extra set of eyes or extra set of cameras, is being able to discuss and see what goes on. And we thought the 817 was just a little too aggressive. The one time he drove straight down, he got bumped down underneath the white line and came back up and could have held his line, but completely washed up the track and took out Triska. And then the next time by, he did the same exact thing, and we penalized him one lap. We were going to put him a lap down for the dirty driving, and then he went and spun the 22 out, and we won't put up with that. So he got the 1 lap black flag penalty for spinning the 22. Excuse me. 1 lap penalty for spinning the 22, and then he was also booted because he spun the 57 for the second time. So we're not putting up with any kind of dirty driving or dirty racing. We just don't work that way.
All right, Teddy, appreciate the explanation. A lot of the people out there watching was giving a thumbs up to race control in that move, knowing it was the right move to make, as things are getting a little hectic there towards race end, as we do see fireworks from the blimp cam coming off of turn number 2. Anything you want to discuss while we got you in the booth here coming up, where drivers can get a hold of you guys? Anybody looking to join your Street Stock Series coming up in July?
Yeah, we're on the web, shorttracknationalshowdown.com. We're also on TeamSpeak, STNS.ts.nfoservers.com. We're always open to talking. Our emails are on the website, shorttracknationalshowdown.com. The registration page is there. Your live broadcasts are there, replays of them. There's a lot of good stuff on there. We're running modifieds, late models, and street stocks. Street stocks right now seem to be our most popular class. So we're getting there. It's going to take time, obviously. Skip's done this before I have it. So I'm pretty much going with him. We're behind each other 110%. And we want to make this as best as we can in iRacing, and want to become one of the best local short tracks out there, or short track leagues that can be out there.
All right. Well, appreciate the words there, Teddy. Again, folks, you can find them on the web, shorttracknationalshowdown.com. Great things coming up in July. Pleasure to be able to broadcast this opportunity for you there, Teddy. And we'll come probably back with you next week to get a little bit more information.
We'll be off July 4th.
So you're going to be off July 4th. So fortunately, you won't be back next week. So more things to come. We'll keep you posted here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network as we receive the information of things to come here from both Teddy and Skip. And we'll go ahead and proceed with our driver interviews here tonight. Again, Teddy, thank you for joining me in the booth and providing the audience with information. Again, folks, you're looking to join this Street Stock Series. It's going to be a great one to come up, so you'll have to definitely do that.
Yeah, thanks, Dustin. We appreciate everything you do for us, man. You do a fantastic job, and we wouldn't be where we are without you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks. Teddy Groh race control and administrator for the Short Track National Showdown in the Street Stock Series. We're going to go now to your second place finisher here tonight. One of the drivers lucky to finish in second position. I say lucky not by as his skill, actually partially in due to his skill of driving, was beaten and bruised around by the 817 of J.R. Bradford, who ended up receiving a removal from tonight's race. Got that black flag. And Gary, you got to be happy here tonight taking that Coolers Yeti, both 1 and 2. The teammate Jason Anderson finishing first here tonight. Tell us a little bit about some of those incidents coming off of turn 4 where you got loose probably about 3 or 4 times and you're able to save it. One time, unfortunately, you weren't able to save it due to the contact was too difficult to recover from. But tell us a little bit about that and your race here tonight at Charlotte. And I spent all that time getting ready to interview Mr. Triska, and he's not there. So unfortunately, it looks like Gary Triska is a little camera shy, so we're going to try to go to Jason Anderson now. Jason, are you there?
Yeah, I got you.
So you take that Yeti Coolers machine all the way to victory lane here tonight, and not in easy fashion. Really had to fight your way through the field with a lot of these drivers early on, and in doing so, you find yourself in victory lane here at Charlotte. Tell us a little bit about your race tonight.
Yeah, it was a lot of up and downs. I ended up a lap down there for a bit and ended up fighting my way back up to the front. My teammate there, Gary Triska, over at Barn Built Customs, we've had these setups on rails for the last 3 races, and we didn't quite get the finishes we wanted to the last 2 races, but Gary got it done, so we're doing good.
Definitely do. Is this going to be a series you're going to be battling? Are you and both Gary Triska going to join the Street Stock Series going forward? Can we look forward to seeing both that 13 and 57 machine in the series when it starts here in July?
Yeah, I think so. We have it locked in pretty good. I think we're ready for it.
All right. Well, that's excellent notation there to look forward to. Hopefully we'll get to see some more bumping and bruising between you and Joseph John Brom. You guys really went door to door tonight up there up front. I know that 14 was relentless, especially with your teammate being side by side with him for a little bit there. Did you feel he raced you clean, or anything you want to say there about the 14?
Yeah, no, I give the 14 some credit. He never dumped me. I'm not really sure what happened between him and Gary, but it was good hard racing for the most part, I think.
Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory tonight?
I just want to thank Ted and Skip for starting the league and keeping it going, and then Yeti Coolers as a sponsor, my teammate over at Barn Built Customs. Watch out, we're coming through.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing more out of you guys when the series actually picks up next month in July. So congratulations again here tonight, Jason, and to your teammate Gary, 1-2 here at Charlotte. We look forward to seeing you in the weeks to come.
Thanks, sir, and thank you for the broadcasting.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Jason Anderson and that 13 Yeti Coolers machine takes it all the way to victory lane. Barn Built Customs, I believe he said, was the other manufacturer sponsor on the car. Gary Triska as well. That 57 machine comes in second position. Final summary statistics there in your bottom left. Out of the 75 laps here tonight, 15 total lead changes, 9 total cautions, even a boot in the mix. Looking at the final race results on your screen, Jason Anderson, Gary Triska, Steven Spalding, Michael Bonk, Joseph John Brom round out your top 5. Tom Chisholm, Mikal Rashid, Dan LaFoe, Mark LaRoche, Jason Taylor through the top 10. J.R. Bradford, after receiving the DOS boot, will fall to 11th position. Ian Martin, Wyatt Martin, Tracy Jerkins, Anthony Mintz, your pole sitter here tonight, rounds out the top 15. Ben Dyball, Bruno Souza, Jared Duda, Charles Lahr, Eddie Shearer through 20. Tom Hessert, Margaret Lewis, first caution flag drawer here tonight. Contact with Dan LaFoe. And Will Fletcher will round out your field here at Charlotte. Again, folks, coming up in July, the Street Stock Series for the Short Track National Showdown will pick up. You can find that schedule on our website at forgebroadcasting.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/digitalforgebroadcasting. Check out Short Track National Showdown at that.com. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Tomorrow night, we are going to be back in action with the Anarchy Motorsports Series Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series at Circa 2007 Daytona. That's right, they're going back to the old one. It's going to be a bumpy ride for those Gen 6 cars. Definitely want to tune in for that tomorrow night at 9:30. But that's going to do it for us. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Oh boy, get ready for some noise. Gentlemen, start your engines.
AMSLeague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSLeague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected oval league and community in the iRacing service. AMSLeague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on Sim Racing Earth at AMSLeague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. AMSLeague.com. A premier iRacing league with a great group of drivers.